feature the songwriting team of Poulton and Fosdick. Recognize them? Perhaps not. Hi, Jackson here at Song Mentor. And these two wrote a Civil War ballad called Oralee in 1861. This is as far back as we'll ever go for a melody. But you know it better as Love Me Tender. And Love Me Tender was released in conjunction with the film of the same name. Elvis performed Love Me Tender on the Ed Sullivan Show before it was released, causing it to have 1 million advance orders before the song was a gold record before it was released, before it was actually put out. Here's the beautiful and touching Love Me Tender. Well, when I first decided on Love Me Tender, it was because of the gorgeous melody of the song. I thought it would be an easy lesson, 3 chords, really simple strumming. It doesn't get any simpler than this. Love me tender. And then I realized that it's not a 3-chord song. In fact, it's 3 times that. There are actually 9 chords. So the difficulty in this song, aside from what we're going to talk about in a moment here, playing lead notes to the chords, is the sheer number of chords. We've got some sequences and progressions of chords that you're going to have to get into your head and work on. So here are the chords you need. You need an open D. You need an E7. You need an A7. You need an F sharp 7 bar chord, a B minor, a D7, a G chord, and I'm going to suggest the bar G because the chord after that in sequence is a G minor. Remove 1 finger. And last but not least, a sneaky little B7, which if you're a beginning player or not too advanced, this has always been one of those tough chords to find early in your playing. There's the B7. Okay, so just quickly in review, open D, E7, A7, F sharp 7, B minor, D7, bar G, G minor, and B7. And you can tell just by listening to the range of chords there, this is an interesting song, interesting composition. Okay, let's talk about the sequence and the strumming. But not in that order. We'll talk about strumming first. I'm calling this section picking strumming because it literally is. Pick, strum. Pick, strum, pick, strum. And there are some important things on this picking and strumming. First of all, that it be gentle. Not, it's Love Me Tender, and that's how the song should be played. Secondly, that you sound like it's almost string by string. It's not a quick strum so that it's a chord and you don't really hear distinct strings. We want to pick through them. The song has a slow enough tempo that we can actually hear individual strings. And the third thing, and perhaps the most important technique-wise, is that there will be a lead note for every chord. So now we're starting with the D chord. D note followed by open A. Love me tender, like that. When we switch to the E7, open E, followed by the E note an octave higher, 2nd fret of the 4th string. A7, the open A, followed by the open E. And then back to the D. Okay, now it gets a little trickier when we get into this sequence. Love me tender, love me true. Here's where all the chords start to show up. And there's a run that's included here, and the run goes like this. This is the lead note for each of these chords. D, D flat, B, A, G. And that's a run all the way down from D down to G. Here are the chords that it works with. D, F sharp 7, you're going to play the 5th string, which is a D flat note. Stay on the 5th string for B minor, which is a B note. Stay on the 5th string for the D7. And then we move to the G, the bar G chord. Now for the G minor, we're going to pick the 5th string, which is a D note. So that sequence again. Back to D. Simple as that. The only other one you need to know is the B7, which is just going to be that 5th string, 2nd fret. That's the lead note. So those are the lead notes for the chords. Now let's take a look at what the left hand is doing and the chord sequences. Okay, well let's learn this in 2 chunks with the chords in the screen, and of course we'll play it nice and slowly, just faithful to the original. Love me tender, love me sweet, never let me go. You have made my life complete, and I love you so. Okay, just a simple 3-chord pattern from D to E7 to A7 back to D with the correct lead notes in there. Okay, the second chunk a little bit more difficult because it has that run in it, but we'll do it nice and slowly with chords on the screen. Love me tender, love me true, all my dreams fulfill. For my darling, I love you, and I always will. Okay, well, lots of chord changes and lots of work, but before we head into this final section, let's talk about the ending. It just slows down, retards the last chord a little bit. For my darling, I love you, and I always will. That slows up just a little bit at the end there. Melody changes ever so slightly. And then if you want to, kind of reminds me a bit of Until We Meet Again, Happy Trails. But what you're going to do is just slide up a little bit to the 7th fret of the 4th string, wiggle that note a little bit, and then the 10th fret of the 2nd string, 2 picks on that, and down to the 7th fret of the 2nd string. So. Just a very sweet little ending. Okay, well now that we have those chord sequences down, let's do a playthrough of the 3rd verse. We'll do an intro with it, as if it were the start of the song, and then we'll finish the song. We'll include the ending. So you'll get everything you need in this one verse. Here we go. tender, love me, dear. Tell me you are mine. I'll be yours through all the years, till the end of time. Love me tender, love me true, all my dreams fulfill. For my darling, I love you, and I always will. All right, fine tuning for Love Me Tender. You know, when I took up this song, I thought it was going to be a piece of cake, you know, the simple little pick and strum thing. But I have to tell you, the attention to detail in the picking and the number of chords made it somewhat of a difficult lesson to put together for you. And I think you'll find that the same on your end of it. It's going to take a little bit of time to get this accurate and flowing smoothly. It is a slow-moving song. You can try picking up the tempo a little bit. I experimented with Love Me Tender, and you can certainly do that. Double pick it. Love me tender, love me true. If you want to take up the tempo a little bit and double pick it, you can turn it into more of a country song and more of a country feel. But either way, I think whoever you sing this to, you're going to score points with. Love Me Tender, Elvis Presley. We'll see you next time on Song Mentor.